should do a jingle.
You got one?
No. Is it weird to not have one?
No.
I mean, I don't know.
Especially not the first one. But if you want to make one.
Yeah, maybe. One of these days. Okay. Are there any supplements that you are 100% sure are beneficial?
Yes.
Next question. Elaborate.
Yeah, so I'll start with the obvious one for me, which is creatine. It's been a supplement I've taken for like 20 years, maybe. Like, it's been one of the first that I started taking, and surprisingly, it's like I've never gone without it for more than, I don't know, probably a couple months at a time. Maybe there's, some times here and there that I've not taken it for a while, but I always come back to that one. And I always notice a little, but to me, a clear improvement in muscle size, or not that, not that they're big or anything, but at least there's some improvement there. And I also noticed some performance increase in training that comes with that. So those are the two benefits that are, to me, are obvious.
Like, you notice it on yourself, not like the data is crystal clear, which I guess it is. But you also notice it on yourself when you take it versus when you don't.
I am, for this question, only answering in my personal experience.
Right.
Like, regardless of what the studies say.
It should be noted that you work out fairly regularly.
It should be noted that, yes.
Right.
And that I'm pretty aware of how my body functions in that way. Like, if I'm feeling a little off, I will know it in the performance that comes from that.
Yeah.
If I haven't eaten enough carbohydrates, I will feel that in my training.
How does that? You lost me.
It's just another example that I'm like pretty in tune with.
Okay.
How my body reacts to certain inputs in terms of the training, how good my training is and things like that.
Okay. Have you had time, I guess you've had times in your life when you haven't, or in the last 20 years where you haven't worked out as regularly as you do, or maybe even not at all, like if you're traveling or something.
Sure.
Do you keep taking creatine then?
If I'm traveling, I probably wouldn't. No. Usually if I'm traveling, I just go without it because I don't want to bring a tub of that around, and so it's more for practical reasons.
Okay. But do you think you would notice it if you took it, even if you're not working out?
No, then I don't think I'd notice. I think, I don't, maybe very slightly on like the muscular size, but like probably not.
Would the muscular size be different even if you're not working out?
It does pump more water, hydrate your muscles somewhat, and I think I would notice that. Yeah. Even if I weren't training, yeah. I don't think anybody else would notice it.
Right.
I'm for sure if I asked anybody who's seen me before, and then I took like creatine for a few days, and then I see them, they wouldn't be like, what has happened to you?
Okay, but the meat of it is that you do work out, and when you do work out and you take creatine versus when you don't, you're 100% sure that there's a difference.
Yeah.
Do you have any other supplements that you're 100% sure are beneficial?
Yes. Fiber. for the obvious reasons. I mean, I
Yeah.
just don't. I don't go to the toilet as easily without it.
Okay. Well,
And
that's
that's
pretty-
even more clear to me. Like that's probably maybe the most clear and obvious
really.
supplement. Yeah, for me, yeah.
I don't see
It's
how
just-
you can go about that any other way than you go to the toilet versus you don't.
Yeah, and that really makes a big difference to me.
Do you have any more?
For beneficial, yeah, I will also say melatonin, but I have to be careful with the dose there. If I take too much, it kind of backfires in that like it'll give me crazy dreams and then I won't sleep as well. But I do think it helps me fall asleep faster.
We did talk about this, right? I mentioned that when I tried taking it, I noticed that I have nightmares and I wasn't sure if it was a thing or it was in my head. Like,
It's in your head.
it is in my head, but I wasn't sure if it was coincidental, but it was happening more times that it made me kind of uncomfortable with keeping on taking it. And I was taking...
Yeah.
I read later that you're supposed to take super low doses of it.
Yeah. So what do you remember what dose you were taking?
I think it was like 3 milligrams.
Yeah, and I think that's probably about the average that you find in the supplements. Like at least 1 milligram seems normal.
Yeah.
But if I take 1 milligram, I will have like really intense nightmares. And it always happens. Like 90% of the time it happens. And I usually don't have dreams like that.
Is there a mechanical explanation for this?
If there is, I don't know it.
Right. I don't know if I want to speculate, but it kind of would make sense if you're like part of your brain is shutting down when the other one's still not ready for it or something.
I don't know. I don't know what that means, but yeah.
It's like lucid dreaming, sort of.
Yeah, but you
But
have
more-
no control over it.
Yeah.
But the dose that works for me is like 300 micrograms, which is a tenth of 3 milligrams.
I don't even think I could find that here.
Yeah, even here, there's only, well, there's more coming, but I think there's 2 or 3 companies that make it now at that dose.
But I have to say, even when I was taking the 3 milligrams, it's not like I slept way better. I wasn't even sure if it was doing much.
Yeah, I think for me it helps me fall asleep, but I'm not sure if it makes me sleep better throughout the night.
That used to be a bigger problem for me. Now I can fall asleep, but then I wake up, and that's what I'm trying to remedy, because I have a really difficult time falling asleep if I wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure.
I often have that problem.
What do you do?
First I'll try to sleep, and then I'll remember I should stop trying to sleep because that'll just make it worse. I should just let it happen.
Right.
But it just sometimes it works.
How do you try to sleep?
I don't know, just be quiet and try not to think, and I don't know. But like sometimes I can just know that it's hard to explain. Like I'll wake up at like 4 a.m. and I'll know I'm just not going to be able to fall back to sleep quickly. But sometimes I'll wake up and I'll just know, yeah, I'm going to fall back to sleep. It's like something is, when I wake up, sometimes I'm like more, I don't know, on edge.
Yeah.
And it just takes a long time to get back into sleep.
Sometimes I'm like, it's not happening, and it could be like 4 a.m. This is rare, but I would just like, I give up, I'm getting up. It's like my day starts now. It's like, but I do have something that might, I don't know, maybe you've tried it, but if not, a couple of things that have made this issue like 90% better for me is One, I think I read this somewhere, and I just think relax the muscles of your face. And for some reason, when I think that, it's like I noticed that my eyebrows were a little like tense, and like in general, I had a lot of tenseness around my head. And when I think that, I kind of just let it go. And then the second thing, I just focus on breathing. It's like meditation, but sleep meditation. That one seems to often knocks me out within 10 breaths when I've had trouble sleeping otherwise.
I've tried similar things, and like I said, like sometimes it works and sometimes it just doesn't.
Fair enough.
And maybe there's nothing to do except not wake up, but
right. Also, the other thing is I've started checking the phone less, or the time, because it's in my phone, and sometimes when I wake up I don't know what time it is, and I check the time and then it could be like 4 a.m. and I'd be annoyed and upset, and it could be like 7 a.m. and I'd be like, okay, time to get up. But now I've started not checking and just trying to fall asleep and whatever, because I don't have like a time to start working and or an alarm. So
I definitely try not to look at the time. That's usually, I'll if I look at the time, I'll usually it'll just put me in this mode of thinking that is never good for trying to get back to sleep. Either it's too late and I want to sleep more, but I can't, or it's too early and doesn't matter that I checked it anyway, you know?
Yeah.
Like if it's 1 a.m., I'm going to go back to sleep. I know something.
Right.
But if it's like 6 a.m. and I still want to sleep, knowing that it's 6 a.m. is going to make me more anxious.
Right.
And then I won't get back to sleep. I should just get up.
Right.
I really try not to look at the time unless I'm like sure it's about time to get up.
The other thing that happens when I look at the time sometimes is I see like an email or something, and then it's 10 times harder to fall asleep if it's like, especially if it's something mildly annoying, like some work thing.
You don't put your phone on airplane mode?
No.
Why not?
I started putting it in do not disturb mode, which means I don't see notifications anymore. But that is like really something that I've been doing for the last few days. So so far it's nice. Because when I see
why not airplane mode though?
What if there's an emergency? I've thought about getting a dumb phone. Have you seen this trend?
I know what it is, yeah.
There's a whole culture of going back to dumb phones, and I really, really see the appeal. But yeah, I don't know. It's worth a try.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't put it on airplane mode, I'd want to be like really specific about what I was letting through, I guess. Like absolutely no emails. Like nobody's going to email you for an emergency.
No, yeah. It's,
you know, like just phone calls maybe from specific people.
I have that now with the do not disturb mode. Like I think certain contacts can get through in case, but yeah, seeing a notification usually does it. This took a detour. Do you have more supplements that you're 100% sure are beneficial?
What about 99.99?
Sure, let's do 99.99.
Let's round it. All right. I'm going to say collagen, but only for skin health.
What do you notice there?
I just noticed that it's more like plump or like it's hard to like it's maybe as you get older you notice it more than like when you're 30 or whatever, but I do notice that.
More plump.
I don't like less wrinkles. Like it just feels, it's more, it's almost like it's like, you know how when you eat a ton of food and it looks like your face is a bit swelled up?
No.
Okay, well, it's like everything is a bit less dry looking.
I get it.
Yeah, I do definitely notice that. About the joint stuff with collagen, I don't know. That I don't know.
Right, because it supposedly has joint benefits as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's quite well documented.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like no doubt, but
right.
like it seems to help. But there's still a lot of people who say that it's really just protein and your body, your stomach will break it down into amino acids, and it's the same thing as just taking any protein at that point. But it seems like that isn't the case, that your body can digest the, I forget the term, but like the chains of protein that are bunched together, that it doesn't fully break it down, and that those protein chains actually tell your body to produce more of its own collagen.
Interesting.
So there is still some ongoing research there and some controversy. But
what's the next? Is there anything else in the 99 percentile or?
No, I don't think so. I'll go. You can go. Do you have any?
None. I literally do not notice anything different, whether I take it or not. Anything.
Nothing.
But I still take
everything.
Just anything I find, I just buy loads and loads. No, but I still take what seems to be fairly well documented. And
I just thought of one actually that I hadn't talked about.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, your answer is none.
It's none, but I know that some of the stuff must be helping, because some of it is...
What would the top one be, if you had to say? Or the top few? Like 80% sure,
Maybe magnesium?
Yeah, that was probably my next...
But I'm not sure, why. I think it's just I generally feel more on the up and up, if that's a thing.
It's a thing. I'm not sure that's caused by magnesium, but...
Yeah, it could totally be placebo.
Yeah.
What were you going to...
So, I forget when it was banned, but... I think it must have been like maybe 2010 that it was banned or something. But do you remember, maybe this is too old for you, but do you remember ephedra?
No, I don't think I was into supplements.
Yeah, it was a fat burner, and it ramped up your metabolism. And it was actually in some cold medicine as well, because it would make your everything, it was like a decongestant, but it also ramped up your metabolism at higher doses and was good for fat loss. And I think I only took it for a few weeks, because it totally makes you really nervous and anxious, and you can't sleep if you take too much of it. But it works. It really works.
So why did they ban it?
Because probably some people took way too much and had a heart attack, and that kind of thing.
I see.
It can be a bit dangerous for sure. And I don't know if it's still available in other countries. It might be. And it was in all the like pre-workouts and fat burner supplements. I think in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Wow. Okay. It sounds like the kind of thing. I want to do a check. What is it called?
Ephedra, EPHEDRA, or ephedrine.
I don't think it. Well, at least it's not on Amazon.
No, I'm sure it's banned now. It's been
I'm just. It sounds like the kind of thing like that never passed the first approval rate in the EU. Looks like it was some plant.
Yes, yeah, it's an herb.
How the US seems pretty. I don't know how lax are the
supplements.
Yeah,
I guess we're more lax than the EU, but it's not like a free for all. Like they still ban some things that are clearly dangerous, and some things they probably shouldn't ban, but some things, yeah, for sure they should. I don't know. I guess I want the supplements available, but I definitely see that some are more dangerous than others. And if it's something that, like, you know, you have this like recommended dose and people take a little more and then it becomes like significantly more dangerous, I can see in that case, like, maybe it shouldn't just be available to anybody to buy easily. At least there should be some, I don't know, some mechanism, but who knows? I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into some philosophical thing about it, you know.
It looked like I could order almost anything on Amazon, and I didn't know what kind of a oversight there is on there.
There's still quite a bit.
Okay. Some of it comes from.
Well, that's a whole nother issue. Is if there's stuff that's in the supplement that shouldn't be in there.
Shouldn't that be part of the? Like, if we're talking about safety, I would assume that there's some kind of a control that what you're saying is in the pill on the bottle is actually in the pill that's in the bottle.
There generally is not from the government. Like, for example, say there's just a vitamin B supplement. The government's not gonna like come to the lab and test every sample, you know, every lot that goes out to make sure that it's actually B6 in there.
Sure.
I think the way that it happens is if they get complaints from consumers, then they will go investigate. And there's a lot of like third-party certifications that supplements can have.
I saw a post of some guy who works for one of those third party and was basically like, we tested all these companies and almost none of them had the dosage that said on the box.
Yeah.
And around that time, I had a friend visiting and he asked me to order zinc for him because, I don't know, the pharmacies didn't have a high enough dosage or whatever. So I ordered one from Amazon. And he claims that he could tell that the dosage was not what it said on the label.
What do you mean he could tell?
He says he feels the difference when he's taken zinc versus not.
I mean, I don't know how you would tell the difference between like a bit too much zinc and a bit less zinc. Like,
well, it wasn't like a bit. He was like, there's barely any zinc in there. It's just like,
I don't know.
I'm skeptical but that's coming from me because I can't tell when I've taken it at all or not. And
Yeah, I think his point is a valid point that, yeah, some supplements don't have anything close to what they say on the label. And it could be like only a few % of what it says on the label. But I don't know. I don't know if you can tell that. But that's why I really try to get supplements from established manufacturers that hopefully have some certificates from third parties that say what's in the bottle is actually what it says on the label.
it's also quite confusing because a lot of the cheap stuff also stick all these logos from third parties, certified, whatever. And I'm like, how am I supposed to know?
I would rather not take a supplement than take a cheap version of the supplement. If that makes like if I'm ingesting it, I don't want potential to have contaminants in there that like do more harm than the possible benefits of the supplement.
Sure, but not is it? Oh, it's not always the case that the cheap one is worse.
No, but I think that it's much more likely that not just expensive, but the ones from the more established manufacturers that have a good reputation. I guess that's more what I'm focused on. And those tend to be more expensive. You know, maybe they're not the most expensive ones, but at least
Sure.
I'm not looking for cheap ones.
Sure.
Some cheaper ones are fine. They can be fine.
It must be because you must be paying a part of it for the brand. And I understand that comes with its like guarantees, but there must also be room in the market for a cheaper brand to actually do things well, minus the brand premium that you're paying.
I think that's true. Yeah, for sure.
But then you have to spend a lot more time vetting them.
Yeah, but if a cheaper brand is fine, I just don't want like a cheaper new unknown brand. But if it's like I don't know if is there NutriCost over there?
No, I don't know it. If there is, I don't know it.
That's like a cheaper brand that's pretty established. It's been around for years. They also have done some third-party tests on them, and they seem generally fine. Like there's no contaminants. There's no, like what they say on the label is generally pretty close. Like no supplements like perfect, but they're not like 10% of what it says in the label or something.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that's the main idea, that I just want quality. And I'll pay more for it, you know. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pay the most. Like
right. If I'm like paying $20 and getting zero benefit, I'd rather pay $30 and get the benefit, or not pay anything. And I get it.
Yeah. You don't have any other secondary supplements?
Well, since the question is if I'm 100% sure based on observation, then I don't have any. But I've essentially looked at what are the most beneficial for most people based on the highest confidence research available, and just stick to omega-3, magnesium, vitamin D, a bunch I take that are less confident, but I can't say I know that they're helping with anything. I just take them because they seem promising and the benefits are interesting to me.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Different topic?
Sure.
What? Let's see.
Does this transition well into, if you can take 3 supplements, what would they be?
It does transition well into that. which you kind of already mentioned a few of them.
Okay, so let's just do that.
Okay.
If you
all
could
right.
only take 3 supplements for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Well, I'd mentioned 2 of them already in the ones that I'm 100% sure work, and they are fiber and creatine. The third one, I had said multivitamin, which is a bit of a cop out. And if I can't take multivitamin, I would say magnesium.
Mm.
And fiber, because I really take it, and to me it really helps everything go more smoothly, and it fixes all the problems that I often have with going to the bathroom. So I really miss that supplement if I ever can't take it for more than a few days.
Why magnesium?
Magnesium also, I feel like it has somewhat of a calming effect if I train too hard. Maybe it helps sleep in a similar way that it helps me calm down in the evening. I usually take it in the evening, actually. It actually also does help with going to the bathroom again.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it can help in a different way than fiber does. That it helps like your intestine, the muscles somehow move the stuff.
Right. Is the reason that you don't list omega-3 in your top 3 that you could just adjust your diet?
Yes, that's exactly the reason. I'm surprised you knew that.
But if it was a precondition that...
I can't adjust anything else.
I mean, I don't know if that's fair, though. But
Yeah.
would you put omega-3 then?
Yes. If I could not increase my intake of fish, then yeah, I would take omega-3 instead of magnesium.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think there's enough research that says that eating fish or taking fish oil is beneficial for many things.
It's why it's in my list of top 3 despite not feeling it doing anything.
Right.
Yeah, along with magnesium. But that I also put because of the mental health benefits that I've read about. But I could say the same about fish oil, and as in the last year I've been hearing more and more about the gut-brain connection and all of that. I've tried to go for supplements that have also mental benefit. Although, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, those are. I think the brain health thing is harder to study because it's a really long-term thing. It's not like you can take fish oil and then you're better at solving puzzles the next day.
Yeah, no.
It's more like I don't want to get any dementia form as I get older. That's like a significant thing that I want to avoid. And I think fish oil has some research that it does help with that.
If your body is lacking some essential nutrition, something along the way is going to go sideways, and then your mental health will follow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just good to have an overall balanced. But creatine has the cognitive.
Yeah, it may as well. Yeah. Creatine seems to have some brain health benefits as well, but that's less established than like the muscular and I think that, yeah, I guess the Yeah, it's more the muscular strength and power that creatine seems to mainly have. And that's like, at least currently, that's enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah. For the third spot, I would be conflicted between creatine and vitamin D. Because I don't work out as much as you do. So to me, I do a bit. Like, I do more than I think most people don't do anything, I think. So I work out at home and just do a bit of different exercises, and lately some yoga as well. I don't know how much creatine is going to help with that, but
Yeah.
seeing as it helps even without exercise, then it's not a bad idea to take if you're doing light exercise, I'm assuming.
I don't think it's a bad idea to take anyway.
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything, I'd still probably take it. But I can see that maybe you should put vitamin D instead if you only have 3.
Yeah.
But it's individual. Like, for me, I need the fiber. Like, I've come to believe that over my experience in the past, 20 years. I seem to do better with higher.
Didn't notice anything with the fiber. I hated taking it just because of how disgusting it was. And then I tried again after our latest conversation about it, and I still didn't notice anything. And
is that, how much were you taking of it?
I don't know, whatever it said on the box. I didn't really
like what the scoop that was in there.
Maybe a bit less than the scoop.
And like once a day, how many days?
I just tried it like for a few days, and then I tried it again for a couple of days.
Yeah, but if you don't have a problem in the first place with going to the bathroom, then you probably won't notice a difference.
No, I guess that makes sense.
I mean, there is research that it helps with cholesterol and can lower your LDL cholesterol.
Okay.
Depending on what your numbers are, that might be.
Is LDL cholesterol the bad cholesterol?
LDL is the bad cholesterol.
Yeah.
That can be another topic.
Sure.
But yeah, and that's I guess of my reasons for taking supplements, preventing a heart attack or stroke is way up there. It's like, top 1 or 2, probably top 1.
Are the supplements that you put in your top 3 helping with that? Well, the fiber is.
Fiber would, for sure.
By lowering.
Creatine, no. I don't think there's any research that it helps with heart attacks. I don't know I don't think there's much about magnesium either. I think only fiber. But that's the thing, like, outside of things that really lower your bad cholesterol, there's not much supplements that would do that would help with preventing a heart attack. That have like really robust evidence behind them. Like, there's definitely some that probably help, but
wasn't there something about coffee helping with that?
Yeah, coffee probably helps with that. Yeah, but that's not a supplement.
Well, some people take it in pill form.
Caffeine.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's not just the caffeine. It's the rest of the stuff in coffee that has benefits as well.
Interesting.
It's both.
How many cups do you drink a day?
One, probably double espresso in the morning, and then a latte or cappuccino about an hour or an hour and a half later, and then about an hour or 2 after that, like a small espresso.
What time would be the latest one then?
About 11 is the latest.
You avoid it on purpose after that?
Yeah. A caffeine affects my sleep. If I have it in the afternoon, I'll have trouble falling asleep.
That's quite early, though.
That's what happens when you're sensitive to caffeine.
I don't even notice the effect.
I know. Some people can have it for dinner and they're fine.
Yeah, it's quite common here in Spain to people often have it with dinner, and I don't, because I'm paranoid that I'm going to sleep badly, even though I don't notice its effects. I just avoid it out of precaution.
Mm-hmm. And then the research says that even if you don't think it affects your sleep when you drink it late, it probably still does.
Well, there you go then. All the more reason to avoid it.
What were we? Three. Yeah. So you said, what did you say again?
Magnesium. Well, first was fish oil, omega-3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Magnesium and I guess I'm changing vitamin D to creatine.
All right. I mean, you could just go out in the sun a bit more.
Sure. That's not changing my diet.
But you going to do that?
Nope.
Yep. All right. Cool. Was there anything else to say about that?
I think in the future we could discuss the different types of omega-3, because that's something that would be interesting, actually. I don't know much about it.
Okay. There are DHA and EPA.
Yeah.
The short answer is you probably should take both, but if you want to be really optimal about it, maybe I think EPA at a 2-to-1 dosage,
towards
somewhere
EPA.
around there. Towards EPA.
I have two omega-3 because I accidentally ordered two from different vendors, and I know that they have vastly different proportions. So I'm curious to check after our conversation which one has the ratio.
I hope I'm not getting that backwards. I think that's right.
Well, if
I'll
it
check.
is, we'll just cut it out.
Cut out my mistakes. It's like half the podcast.